So Claydrum.
Yeah, man.
Start there.
Claydrum 5.
Did you have a good night? Did you have a good set?
You know, the crowd seemed really responsive. Like, I enjoyed myself. I could have kept playing. It was one of those ones. It was really a good time. I would love to come back.
Awesome. And did you play any good tunes tonight?
You know what? I actually didn't.
It's weird, isn't it? Right? You make your tunes, the last thing you want to hear when you actually find it.
It's funny. I mean,
do you normally play your own tunes in your own sets?
It kind of varies. I mean, there are certain tracks that I know they work on the dance floor, like, but a lot of what I make when I'm in the studio is I'm not thinking about music from a DJ perspective when I'm writing.
Yeah.
You know, and so what comes out is often
production as
maybe. Yeah, exactly. You know, and often what comes out is maybe not the kind of like most dance floor friendly music quite a lot of the time. And certain sets, like I know I can play these tracks that will work, like, but other times I get the feeling that it's the crowd. You know,
it's also about comfort. If you've been to the club before, you kind of know the crowd, and you know.
That's the thing. Knowing that you can take the crowd with you, like, and really understanding the crowd is something that's. I mean, it's amazing. Kind of you get to that point, but it's something that exactly like you say, you need to maybe play there like before, even a couple of times. I was talking to someone about this last night in Poland actually, and I think the more I play, like, I mean, the more like parties I play, the more I've kind of learned a way to still express what I do and what I love, but maybe make sure that the crowd is like moving and to be able to adapt from like.
Well, it's also about, you know, you're saying about dropping in the tune at the right moment. You know, you can play it one time in the set, it's work, and all of a sudden do it another time in the set, it's completely different.
Yeah, 100%.
Just
picking the moments,
the
right tracks. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you didn't play any of your own stuff tonight, but you've got a new EP coming out on Alien.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
I guess in the next couple of months. I mean, given the amount of delays that kind of labels are all experiencing. And yeah, I haven't released a Sigha EP for about a year now. So it's good to be putting something out again. Hopefully people will like it. We'll find out. Yeah.
What's good interesting actually, also when you produce for another label, do you actually make a track for a certain label and then try and see if they're interested in it, say you like a Rustin?
Yeah.
Or do you say, right, you know, I've got these tunes and you like, you know who to approach who might be interested in it?
Well, it's funny, it's like when I started out producing, like thinking this is what I want to do, like I would always, I guess, gear what I was writing towards labels who I'd be sending it to, things like that. And that's a way of working that, you know, that can work, but I think you maybe lose some of your own voice doing that.
Definitely.
And on top of that, it's actually surprisingly difficult to predict what people will like and won't like. You know, just because a label's put out a certain bunch of EPs in the past doesn't restrict that label or the boss or whoever's running it to only liking that sound, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you're going in kind of
emulating.
Exactly.
Always compromising.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, not only I think are you shooting yourself in the foot, kind of like creatively, but you might be doing it for no reason. Kind of. I mean, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with making tracks that fall into a similar vein as other people, so long as you're being honest about what you want.
How you would approach that.
Exactly. 100%.
So I've got a sort of Ruskin track, let's make it almost a copy of that, you know he's going to like that, you can probably put it out on this site, you know what I mean?
And to be honest, if I tried to do that, like there's no way I could touch James' production level, so it would just be terrible. There's no point in trying to make a Ruskin track, there's no one like Ruskin, you know what I mean? Like, that's...
A lot of people do that.
Like, what do you use to produce? Do you use like hardware, like is it Logic, Ableton?
It was all in the box, or all in Ableton up until maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then I kind of made a massive change. Like I kind of felt like I needed to switch something up to reinvigorate myself, and I started buying synths, bits of hardware. And then a year ago, like I sort of dove down the rabbit hole of modular synthesis.
Oh wow!
And it's amazing. Like I have so much fun working, but it's a crazy, never-ending black hole of time, money, and maths. Like I think it's certainly changed the way for the better. I think that I look at writing music. You know, I mean, I'm not one of those people that is like hardware is the best, or you know, software is the best, or it has to be analog, or it has to be digital. I think people need to find their own way and whatever works for them. And I mean, at that point in time when I made the switch, like, I just felt like maybe I was lacking a bit of kind of like inspiration or get up and go, and to really sit down and get into music in the studio. And as soon as I started buying little bits of hardware and synths and bits of kit, like it just kind of switched, and I just felt so inspired. And I think a lot of that comes to like my background as a musician was as a guitarist in bands. And so when I kind of like started this process, I put down the guitar and the kind of physicality that came with that, and I became really obsessed with the ease that everything's in the computer. I don't need another band, you know, I don't need a bass player, I don't need a drummer, I don't need a guitarist. I can make all this music just myself, just with my computer. And along the way, like I really miss that physical interaction you get. Obviously, playing a guitar is different to opening a filter or programming a sequencer. But on some level, there's that physicality that's there. You've got your instrument in front of you, and you're physically playing it. And
like hands.
Yeah, exactly. Hands on. You know? And I think that was what I was missing for a long time. I didn't even realise it until suddenly it was there again. And it feels like someone's pressed a massive like reset, fresh button. Everything's amazing again.
Nice. And as far as the DJ goes, for yourself, I mean, have you been DJing as long as you're making music?
I started making music probably about a year before I started DJing. This has been a while now. Like, I mean, I must have started when I was like 20, 21, and now I'm 31, unfortunately. Like, so I had 10 years.
What was the attraction to DJing?
I mean, I went to music college to study guitar, and while I was there, like I found the kind of like squat party scene, rave scene, like warehouse parties around the Surrey Hills, basically. Like, and up until that point, like my exposure to dance music had been literally zero. Like, you know, like I said, I grew up playing bands, and that's my background. Like, I used to listen to bits and bobs of like electronic stuff, like effects, stuff like that. But actually dance music, like I didn't really get it until one day, like I had to go and pick up like the mate from SWAT. And like I remember I was just joining like a car journey to kind of just go up for a ride. And I was like, but I don't want to spend long in that. Like, we'll just go pick him up and then we'll leave. And like, yeah, it's fine. And it got to the point where like, James, we gotta go. And I was like, I don't want to go actually. Like I quite like it, just in front of this massive techno. And it was like a real like light bulb moment. Suddenly it all made sense, and I was like, this isn't just mindless kick drums. The good DJ, like when you're locked into that set, when he's playing the right tracks at the right moment, it can affect you so profoundly. Yeah, and suddenly it all made sense. And I remember like, you know, I signed my first 12, and a friend of mine, I was working in a clothes shop at the time, a friend who was releasing like drum and bass just like that. And he was like, James, you realise now the hard part starts, because you know it can be soul destroying. It takes up all your time. You know, like relationships suffer, all of that. You know, like, and just because you're releasing music, it doesn't mean it's going to work out. It doesn't mean that you can leave the clothes shop or the record shop or whatever. Like. You know, but you just got to, exactly like that, stick to your guidance and think, you know what? Yeah, so obviously, like I say, parts of my life, my supplements, but I can't do anything else. Like, this is what I've done. And I get people turning around to me and saying, like, oh, you've got any advice and stuff like that. And to be honest, what I always say is, unless you feel like you cannot have to write music, like, don't bother. Because like it's just because it's not easy.
No.
And I'm not even necessarily in terms of getting anywhere with it, but it's like it takes over your life and sometimes quite an obsessive negative way. But you can't help it, basically.
And there's a lot of people who, unfortunately, these days, especially since it's so popular now to do this, they don't get that.
Yeah.
You know, that's the majority, unfortunately, at the moment. You know. And this is pretty much giving up everything.
Yeah.
And if you're that passionate about it, you will make it. Absolutely, you will. You've got to keep going.
Yeah, totally.
You're London-based most of the time.
I'm Berlin-based now, actually. Like, I mean, I grew up in London, like, and I moved to Berlin. I love London, you know, but it just felt like the right time for a change.
And what kind of, like, are you involved in clubs, residencies over there? Like, what's happening in Berlin? Is it mostly producing?
I DJ in Berlin, like, I mean, I'm very aware of not burning out any particular city, you know, and like, I mean, there's the opportunity, if you want to play in Berlin as a DJ, probably every month, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't necessarily think it's the best thing, so, I mean, I'll take like a couple of shows in Berlin a year, like, and then in the week I'm there producing, living, then airports and clubs on the weekend. Like, yeah, it's a strange life. Like, it's kind of surreal. Like, this is Sigha at the Claydrum 5th anniversary birthday party.